Thank you very much for joining us today. This topic, as you may already know, is exam development session 2. After you have generated or designed developed your test, there is a need that a pilot test is carried out on the examination questions. This is important so that the characteristics of the items, what we call psychometric properties, can be revealed. So pilot testing involves presenting the examination questions to a group having similar characteristics as the end users of the test, with a view to identifying any issues that the test may have. Now, for some reason, even after developing your test, reviewing the test, subjecting the test to evaluation, it is still possible that some issues might not be detected in all of those stages. I have seen situations that even after tests have passed through the different levels of item editing, all the way to evaluation of the items by professional evaluators. At the end of the day, some of the items were still found, some were still found with spelling issues, and then with some other issues that only the pilot testing process is capable of revealing. So pilot testing is crucial for ensuring that the item, the test in general, is reliable, it's valid, and it is free of ambiguity and bias. Okay. So you are welcome. Let me get the name. Chifo. Yeah. You're welcome, sir. All right. So you may mute your mic so that we can go on. You met us discussing about pilot tests, which is one of the key things that subject matter experts should be exposed to or taught about, or any examiner for that matter should be exposed to, in order for it to qualified as a test that can be used as a final product. So a test should be subjected to a pilot test. This helps in ensuring that the validity of the test is ascertained, reliability is checked. Some other psychometric properties, such as difficulty, difficulty index, discrimination index, even guessing, and other ones such as drift, are also checked. And if a satisfactory result is obtained, then the test can be considered to be such that can be deployed for final use. Now, pilot tests is important because test takers are able to provide some level of feedback that could be collected and used for the purpose of improving the examination questions. Then tests, I already mentioned this, the pilot test can help to ensure that the administration process, to reveal issues with the administration process, such as timing. Okay, you may have designed your test, and for me that I work in an examination agency over here in Nigeria, we examine the entire Nigerian students living the secondary school or high school, as the case may be, in the various subjects that they offer at the secondary school level. Some of the times we may allot 2 hours for a test, after subjecting it to a pilot test, and we may discover that all the testees had finished attempting all the questions after 45 minutes. At that point, we simply discover that the 2 hours we have allotted for the test was a time that is found to be necessarily long. Then it may help us to decide to cut the time from 2 hours to, let's say, 1 hour. If for any reason somebody is not able to finish within 45 minutes, extra 15 minutes will be fine for that person or for that testee to be able to finish it. And also it helps, like I mentioned, the issue of typographical errors and issues similar to that would also be detected, because the testees will raise those issues while taking the test, and they will be noted for correction before it's finally deploying the test. I have mentioned that the insights gained from the pilot testing process will do a good job in helping to enhance the quality of the exams in general. Point number 5, to note by all test developers, and especially the SMEs, should be told this, because as I mentioned, they may not necessarily be persons who were trained prior to this time on what it takes for a test to be developed. So they must bear in mind that a test, or let's say an examination item or a test item, should be fair and unbiased. This is because if you provide a test to a group of people, and that same within that same exam that you have developed, it gives an advantage to a particular section of the group over another section of the group, then your test will be deemed to be unfair. For those of you who were with us in January or February, or I don't know exactly when, even March or so, I mentioned that in my organization, we take exams for promotion before you can get from one pay grade to the next. You are subjected to an exam, we call it promotion exam. There was a time that some of the questions that were provided during that exam, we all agreed that they were biased. They were biased because such test items were a test question, for instance, I think I remember vividly, required us to attempt a question that was dealing with the Pope, who was that? Pope John Paul or something like that. As you may know, Nigeria is a plural country when it comes down to faith and belief. We have people who are Christian, we have people who are Muslim, we have those who are neither Muslim or Christian. And so if you set an exam and you expect a Muslim to take that same exam, and yet you are asking specific questions about something that has to do with one religion, you have given an advantage to the other religion, practitioner in that religion over the Muslim, for instance. And even within the Christian faith, some of us, I for one, are not Catholics. So I care less about the activities that go on within the Catholic faith. So if you want to test my knowledge and my ability, and then you go ahead to ask me questions about the Christian faith, the Catholic denomination of the Christian faith, I will say that you are not fair to me, because some folks within that same space are Catholics, and they get to hear these things almost on a weekly basis. So you have provided them with an advantage and deny me the same thing. So this should be borne in mind while designing your questions. Do not have questions that give advantage to one group over the other. And your test item should not be racist in nature. All right. So this is because also that bias in exam questions can lead to unfairness and discrimination against certain groups, as we have said. So your question should be free from bias and all of that.